Complete summary of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. The story of a boy with two fathers. Imagine being 9 years old and discovering that there are two completely opposite realities about money. That's exactly what happened to Robert Kiyosaki, an ordinary boy from Hawaii who became a multimillionaire, not by chance, but because he learned secrets that most people will never discover. Robert had a unique privilege: two fathers, not biologically, but two men who became his father figures and taught him completely opposite views about money. The result? One of the greatest revelations about wealth ever documented, which became the best-selling finance book in history. This isn't just the story of a book. It's the story of a discovery that exposes why 90% of people work their entire lives without ever achieving financial freedom, and how the other 10% discovered the secret. The mystery of two fathers, a lesson in contrasts. The Poor Dad, the drama of traditional education. Robert's biological father was everything society considers a winner. PhD in education, superintendent of schools in Hawaii, respected by everyone. In theory, he had done everything right, studied hard, got an excellent job, worked from dawn to dusk. But there was a devastating problem. He was always broke. The poor dad's tragedy. He earned more than $100,000 per year, a fortune in the 70s. He lived paycheck to paycheck, always worried about money. He repeated mantras that kept him poor. I can't afford it. Money doesn't bring happiness. The rich are greedy. He died leaving debts for his family to pay. The cruel irony? He educated thousands of children about how to succeed in life, but never managed to achieve financial success himself. The rich dad, the enigma of the millionaire without a degree. On the other side was Mike's father, Robert's best friend. This man had barely finished 8th grade, but would become one of the richest men in Hawaii. While the poor dad read educational journals, the rich dad studied financial statements. The rich dad's secret: started with nothing, built an empire, thought differently. How can I afford it? Instead of I can't afford it, understood that money is just a tool. Left millions to his children and grandchildren. The question that tormented Robert was simple but profound. Why did two intelligent men, both hard-working, have such opposite financial destinies? The first lesson that changed everything. The rich don't work for money. The day it all began. At age 9, Robert and his friend Mike were tired of being the only poor boys at the rich private school they attended. They decided to ask for advice on how to get rich. The poor dad said, "Study hard to get a good job." The rich dad laughed and said something that sounded like madness. "If you want to learn about money, work for me for free." For free? What kind of advice was that? The convenience store lesson. The rich dad put the boys to work in his convenience store for 3 hours every Saturday, paying only 10 cents an hour. After a few weeks, Robert was furious. He was missing playtime for measly pocket change. When he went to complain, the rich dad smiled. "Perfect. You're feeling exactly what most employees feel. Anger, betrayal, desire for more money. If I raised your salary to $1 an hour, you'd be excited, temporarily. Soon you'd want $2, then $5. But the pattern would be the same. You'd be working for money, living in fear of not having enough." The shocking revelation. The poor and middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them. That's the difference between freedom and financial slavery. The final test. The rich dad stopped paying the boys completely. Now work for free and use your anger, your frustration, to think. Most people accept low pay because they feel fear. The fear of not having money controls them. If money controlled your lives less, you'd be happier and work better. This was the first devastating lesson. Emotions, fear, and greed control most people's financial lives. The second lesson: why smart people stay poor. The secret schools hide. Why don't schools teach about money? Robert asked one day. The rich dad's answer was disturbing. Because the system was created to produce employees, not employers. Good employees who will work their entire lives making others rich. The million-dollar difference: assets versus liabilities. The rich dad then revealed the most important secret. So simple a child understands it, but so powerful that few adults apply it. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. The devastating discovery about home ownership. But isn't our house our greatest asset? Robert asked, repeating what he had learned from his poor dad. The rich dad shook his head. That's the biggest financial lie they tell people. Your house is your greatest liability. Why? You pay a mortgage every month, money leaving your pocket. You pay property taxes, more money leaving. You pay maintenance, even more money leaving. It doesn't generate income. It prevents you from investing in real assets. If your house were an asset, the rich dad explained, it would put money in your pocket every month. But it does the opposite. The rich's cash flow pattern. The rich dad drew 3 diagrams that explained why some people get rich and others don't. Poor people's cash flow. Work salary, expenses 0. Middle class cash flow. Work salary, expenses plus liabilities, house, car, 0 or negative. Rich people's cash flow. Assets, passive income, reinvestment in more assets, exponential wealth. The rich buy assets. The poor buy liabilities, thinking they're assets. The middle class buys liabilities, thinking they're assets, but finances them. The third lesson, the secret of your own business. The most important revelation. Years later, when Robert was already an adult and an accountant, the rich dad told him something that changed his life. You have a profession, but you don't have a business. What's the difference? Your profession pays your bills. Your business makes you rich. Your profession is working for someone else's company. Your business is your asset column. The story of Ray Kroc. The rich dad told the famous story of Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's. When Ray spoke to an MBA class, he asked, "Can anyone tell me what my business is?" "Hamburgers," the students shouted. Ray smiled. "You're wrong. My business is real estate. I'm the largest commercial real estate owner in the world. McDonald's owns the most valuable real estate on the main corners of cities worldwide." The lesson. Ray Kroc wasn't in the hamburger business. He was in the business of building assets, real estate that would generate income forever. Building your own asset column. Mind your own business, said the rich dad. Keep your profession, but build an asset column. Real assets that generate income. Businesses that work without you. Systems that generate money. Stocks of solid companies. Rental real estate. Royalties, music, books, patents. Dividend-paying funds. Most people confuse profession with business. They work their entire lives building someone else's asset column, the bosses. Then they wonder why they don't have money after 40 years of work. The fourth lesson. How the rich beat the system. The secret history of taxes. Taxes punish those who produce and reward those who don't produce, said the rich dad. They were created to tax the rich, but ended up hitting the middle class hard. The corporation trick. The rich dad explained how the rich use corporations to protect and multiply their wealth. Employee flow. Earn money. Pay taxes 30 to 50%. Spend what's left. Business owner flow. Earn money. Spend on legitimate business expenses. Pay taxes only on what's left. A corporation is just a file in a lawyer's drawer, but it offers enormous protections, revealed the rich dad. Financial IQ. The rich dad defined financial IQ in 4 essential areas. Accounting. The ability to read numbers and understand financial statements. Investing. The science of making money with money. Markets. Understanding supply, demand, and technical aspects. Law. Knowing tax advantages and legal protections. A person can be a genius in one area, but if they don't understand the other 3, they'll be exploited by those who do. The fifth lesson, the rich invent money. The millionaire mind. There are 2 types of people, said the rich dad. Those who say I can't afford it, and those who ask, how can I afford it? The $2,000 real estate story. Robert tells a true story. In 1973, he found a house appraised at $75,000 that was being sold for $20,000. The owner needed to sell quickly. He didn't have the $20,000, but did something brilliant. Offered $2,000 down. Got financing from the seller himself. Rented the house for $125 per month. His expenses were $95 per month. Net profit, $30 per month plus property appreciation. I created $75,000 in assets with just $2,000. That's inventing money. The 5 obstacles that keep people from getting rich. Fear, the fear of losing money. Skepticism, the inner voice that whispers, this won't work. Laziness, disguised as being too busy. Bad habits, like paying everyone else first and yourself last. Arrogance, ego combined with ignorance. The secret formula for inventing money. The rich dad revealed his formula. Find opportunities that others don't see. Learn to raise money. Don't use only your own. Organize smart people, accountants, lawyers, brokers. Money is invented in your mind. If you want more money, simply change your thinking. The 6th lesson. Work to learn, don't work to earn. The fatal error of specialization. Do you want to know why so many talented employees earn little? Asked the rich dad. Because they specialize too much. They know a lot about very little. The story of the talented journalist. Robert tells about a brilliant journalist who wrote better than he did, but earned much less. She specialized in writing, but didn't know how to sell. I knew how to write reasonably well, but I knew how to sell very well. Result, I earned more because I combined 2 skills. Essential skills for wealth. The rich dad identified the most important skills. Sales and marketing. If you can't sell, you can't be an entrepreneur. Communication, speaking, writing, negotiating. Leadership. What do you know about managing people? Technical knowledge, your specialty. The McDonald's secret. McDonald's doesn't make the best hamburgers in the world, but they have the best business and marketing systems. That's why they sell billions. The lesson, systems and diversified skills beat technical specialization. The revolutionary career advice. Instead of seeking just high salary, seek jobs that teach you skills you'll use for life. Work to learn, not just to earn. Robert followed this advice. Worked in sales, learned to sell. In the Marines, learned leadership. At Xerox, learned marketing, and then built his own businesses. The secret strategies. How to apply and practice. The 10-step plan to financial freedom. The rich dad developed a practical plan that Robert followed religiously. Step 1. Find a reason greater than reality. I want to be free to travel the world when I want isn't enough motivation. You need powerful emotional reasons. I want my children to never depend on anyone. Or, I want to prove to my father that I can be successful. Step 2. Make choices daily. Every time you spend money, you're choosing to be rich or poor. That $5 coffee per day is $1,825 per year that could be invested. Step 3. Choose your friends carefully. Don't listen to poor people giving advice about money. It's like asking diet advice from someone obese. The 90-day formula. Robert developed a system to accelerate financial education. 30 days. Stop complaining about money and start studying. 60 days. Make your first investment, even if small. 90 days. Find mentors who have already achieved what you want. The investment analysis system. The rich dad taught Robert to analyze any opportunity with 5 questions. How much do I need to invest now? How much do I get back per month? How much is my investment worth if I want to sell? What's the real risk? Can I improve the return with knowledge and effort? If you can't answer these 5 questions, don't invest. The deadly traps. Why 95% of people fail? The rat trap, the vicious cycle. Most people are trapped in the rat race. Observe the rich dad. They work harder, earn more money, spend more money, need to work even harder. It's an endless cycle. The tragic story of the middle class. The rich dad told a modern parable. The middle class is like a hamster on a wheel. It runs faster, but never gets anywhere. It buys a bigger house, a better car, sends kids to expensive schools, and with each improvement, becomes more trapped to work. The illusion of security. Security is an illusion. The employee who works 30 years at a company can be fired at 50. What does he have? Experience at a company that no longer wants his services. The 7 lies that keep people poor. Our house is our greatest investment. It's your greatest liability. Diversify. If you don't understand what you're talking about, diversifying is dangerous. Invest long-term in the stock market. only works if you know what you're doing. Cut expenses. It's better to focus on increasing income. Work hard, work smart, not just hard. Pay yourself first, only after paying your obligations. Your house pays for itself. No, you pay for it. The transformation. How mindset changes everything. The turning point in Robert's life. At 47, Robert decided to test everything he had learned. He sold all his traditional assets and invested everything in income-generating assets. In less than 3 years, his passive income exceeded his monthly expenses. I was financially free. I could choose to work or not. That's true wealth. The difference between rich and wealthy. Rich is different from wealthy, explained the rich dad. Wealthy is someone who earns a lot of money. Rich is someone who keeps a lot of money. If you stop working, how long could you maintain your current standard of living? That's the measure of real wealth. The 6-month test. The rich dad proposed a test. If you stopped working today, how long could you maintain your current standard of living just with income from your assets? 1 month or less. Critical situation. 2 to 6 months. Typical middle class. 1 to 5 years. Well on track. Forever, financially free. Advanced lessons. Secrets of the super rich. The philosophy of money as energy. Money is energy, revealed the rich dad in an advanced conversation. It flows to where it's best treated. If you're afraid of money, it runs from you. If you respect money, it stays with you. The law of compensation. The universe pays you exactly for the value you deliver. If you want to earn more, deliver more value. Not to the same boss, that rarely works, but to the market. The secret of multiple income streams. The rich dad had 7 different income sources. Executive salary, real estate rentals, stock dividends, profits from owned businesses, patent royalties, interest from private loans, capital gains from strategic sales. If one source dries up, the others keep flowing. Modern strategies, adapting for 2024, digital age opportunities. The rich dad, if alive today, would certainly explore. Digital assets, creating online courses that sell 24/7, blogs and channels that generate advertising revenue, e-commerce with dropshipping, apps that generate recurring revenue, modern investments, real estate investment trusts, REITs, cryptocurrencies with knowledge and caution, peer-to-peer lending, real estate crowdfunding, the new rat race. The new rat race, Robert observes in his recent talks, isn't just working for money. It's working for likes, for social media approval, for status. People spend fortunes to look rich instead of actually getting rich. Financial education in the information age. Advantage. Information is more accessible than ever. Disadvantage. Too much information can paralyze. The secret isn't having access to information, but knowing how to filter what really matters and act. The definitive action plan. Your next steps. The first 30 days. Financial awakening. Week 1. Do a complete financial x-ray. List all your assets that put money in your pocket. List all your liabilities that take money out of your pocket. Calculate your real net worth. Week 2. Intensive financial education. Read 1 book about investments. Watch 5 videos about financial education. Download apps to track investments. Week 3. First practical actions. Open an account with a brokerage. Pay off at least 1 credit card debt. Identify an extra income opportunity. Week 4. Building foundations. Make your first investment, even $100. Start building your emergency reserve. Find a mentor, book, podcast, real person. The next 90 days, acceleration. Month 2. Skill development. Learn about the stock market. Study real estate investment trusts. Develop a skill that can generate extra income. Month 3. First results. Have at least $1,000 invested. Achieve an extra income source. Reduce unnecessary expenses by 20%. The first year, transformation. Months 4 to 6, diversification. Have investments in at least 3 different categories. Increase your main income through new knowledge. Consider entrepreneurship opportunities. Months 7 to 12, exponential acceleration. Reinvest all investment returns. Develop multiple income sources. Start thinking like an entrepreneur. The next 5 years, financial freedom. Years 2 to 3, consolidation. Build a solid investment portfolio. Develop at least one significant passive income source. Expand knowledge in strategic areas. Years 4 to 5, independence. Your passive income should cover at least 50% of expenses. Have multiple active and passive income sources. Start teaching others. This accelerates your own learning. The final revelation, the true secret. More than money, a life philosophy. After decades applying the Rich Dad's teachings, Robert revealed the true secret. It's not about getting rich. It's about becoming the person who is capable of getting rich and keeping wealth. The 3 necessary transformations. Mindset, from employee to entrepreneur. Skills, from specialist to versatile. Relationships, from consumer to investor. The question that changes everything. The question isn't, how do I get rich? Said Robert in a recent talk. The question is, what kind of person do I need to become to attract, maintain, and multiply wealth? The legacy of 2 fathers. The poor dad left Robert the value of education, integrity, and the importance of helping others. The rich dad left the knowledge of how money really works. I needed both, Robert confesses. The poor dad's education gave me moral foundation. The rich dad's education gave me financial freedom. Together, they gave me an extraordinary life. Conclusion: your journey begins now. The choice that defines everything. Now you know the secrets the rich dad taught. You have the same choice Robert had at age 9. Follow the traditional path of the poor dad. Study, get job, work 40 years. Or the revolutionary path of the rich dad, financial education, asset building, freedom. The price of freedom. Financial freedom has a price. Continuous education, discipline, courage to be different, willingness to take calculated risks. Most people aren't willing to pay this price. That's why most people aren't financially free. Your story begins today. Your story of financial transformation begins the moment you take the first action. It doesn't need to be a big action. It needs to be a real action. Remember, the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take it out. Your house isn't an asset unless it generates income. Financial education is more important than academic education. Work to learn, not just to earn. The final promise. If you apply just 50% of what you learned in this summary, your financial life will change drastically in the next 5 years. If you apply 100%, you can achieve financial freedom in a decade. The question isn't whether it works. The question is whether you'll apply it. The rich dad was right. Money doesn't solve all problems, but it solves all money-related problems. And money-related problems occupy 80% of most people's worries. Imagine what your life would be like if you eliminated 80% of your worries. Your journey to financial freedom begins now. What will be your first action? The difference between rich and poor isn't in the amount of money they earn, but in how they think about money. Rich Dad. Remember, this summary is just the beginning. Real learning happens when you act.